And we are 15 minutes away from opening our grain and livestock trade on a Crop Progress Tuesday. Mark Oppold, thanks for joining us here on Market Day Report. Whether watching RFD-TV, a lot of folks tuning in on rural radio, and if they do, if you are, you're going to hear Rich Nelson from Allendale. Rich leading things off as normally the case here on a Market Day Report. Rich, Crop Progress Tuesday, let's kind of look a broad brush look at corn across the country nationally, soybeans, and then cotton, and kind of get your thoughts here as we start the day.
You know, certainly as far as the numbers released from USDA yesterday at 3 o'clock Central Time, it really gave the trade quite a bit of surprise here. Corn planting, wow, amazing at 47% complete. That's only a little bit under the 52% five-year average. So good gains despite the fact we had all those heavy rains here last week. Definitely a bit of a surprise here for the trade. As far as the soybean side of things here, 14% complete, and that was under the 16% trade expectation. But still, we're only minorly off that five-year average of 17%. Going over the cotton end of things here, same type of story, a little behind, 21% complete, but not by much. In fact, the five-year average is 25%. So for all these crops, you know, we definitely got a little more planting done than expected here for most of them across the board.
Yeah, Marlon and I were talking about that. States like Missouri, you would think they would have zero. And they only had like about a day and a half suitable for field work in the past 7 days, but yet they also made progress. So those states, you get a state like that in Illinois and southern Indiana, those folks in the other parts of the state obviously made enough to put us at 47%. Now, the trade's still a little bit higher overnight. We haven't opened here yet. We're still about 5 or 10 minutes away here. Rich Nelson joining us here from Allendale. Let's go through some of the other numbers here. Again, corn 47% planted versus 52% on average. Soybeans 14% this past week, 17% is average, as he mentioned. Cotton 21% this week, 25% is the average. Grain sorghum at 30%, that's right on average. And rice, the other major crop here we keep an eye on, at 76% now in the ground, and that is compared to 71%. I don't know if we have the cross Interstate 80 corn updated here, but Nebraska, if you go from west to east across that I-80 corridor, you see Nebraska at 48% planted, Iowa at 52%, so they made some fairly again, slow progress in Iowa. They were 50, the average is 55. They're at 52% now, so catching way up. They were at 28% last week. Illinois at 65%, Indiana 51%, and Ohio at 46%. Let's go across that same I-80 corridor as far as soybeans. If we have the numbers here for soybean planting across I-80, Nebraska at 13%. That's up from 8%. Iowa made a jump from 2% to 9%, and you see the rain in Illinois effects there from 13% in the ground last Monday to 14% yesterday. And Indiana, about the same here, 16% last week, 19% of soybeans now in the ground in the Hoosier State, and in Ohio, 14% last week, just 16%, so only a 2% jump in the soybean planting in Ohio. We'll take a break, come back, and we'll check in with our good friend Ed Serwin here and review the cash feeder, or the cash cattle trade, rather. We continue here about 10 minutes away from opening our livestock.